We've all seen the movie The Matrix. It was interesting and fun on the big screen of the TV, but has it become a bit too real in your own life? Are you seeing glitches in the Matrix and trying to figure out what's happening? Have you been told that you've been tricked and that you need to fight against what they've done to you? The deception. Whether you're just beginning to notice, or if you've been searching for a more peaceful and congruent way to live without battling them, you're in the right place. I'm Ken, and I'll be joined by Eliza and Reina Stella. Let's explore together on the Liberty Ark. All right, welcome back to the Liberty Ark Podcast. We're on number 15, episode 15. And I'm Ken, and with me is Eliza and Reina Stella. And Eliza, how you doing this evening?
Doing great.
Oh, it's
Glad
not.
to be here with you both. Thank you.
It may not be evening for you, though, huh? Sorry.
Anytime is good when we can get together. But yeah.
How about you, Reina Stella?
What a week it's been, but it's good to be here. We get to have discussions that'll help us clear our mind from the week it's been. So glad to be here.
Great. Glad to have you both. And we're going to read from the small screen today on what the folks are going to see, at least, because I screwed up and didn't get it worked out to where I could do it on the large screen. But you'll be able to figure it out anyway. So we're going to have Eliza do the reading from the book, The Great International Heist by Rebecca and Jonathan Rodrigues.
So the Great International Heist, every time I read that, it's like, our rights, how we have to operate. So glad to be here. Episode 15, Reclaiming Autonomy, Models for Liberation. To truly break free from the cycles of financial and legal bondage, it is essential to explore and embrace alternative economic models that prioritize sustainability, equity, and autonomy. By participating in cooperative businesses, community-supported agriculture, and local exchange trading systems, individuals can support an economy that aligns with their values and foster true independence. Localizing economies. Localizing economies can significantly reduce dependency on global financial systems and enhance community resilience. By supporting local businesses, farmers, and producers, communities can keep wealth within their localities, reducing the outflow of resources to external entities. Local currencies, time banks, and barter systems can further strengthen local economies by facilitating exchange and cooperation within the community. These systems also foster stronger social bonds and a sense of mutual support, which are crucial for resilience and sustainability.
So, talk to me, everybody.
Well, it's a great read for tonight because it continues on from our episode last week where we left off and got into it very, very much so. And models for liberation, I find it very interesting to discuss this because I'm trying to analyze the world today being all, digital and our communication is, through internet and, I want to say I rarely see my neighbors, though we do try to definitely get out there and at least say hello to them. It's just, I'm trying to understand how we can really apply this, right, to reality. If most of us are looking for that convenience because we're in such a fast-paced world, things change so quickly, right? Realistically, to be able, of course, one of the models for liberation that I can see is building a local community to be able to possibly help each other out with, my skills and their skills to us, and bartering and this and that. But I find it challenging. The challenge is good, and I love it. And I know that a challenge is an opportunity. How do you guys see that we can build that local community that we would need to be able to barter with each other, knowing that we live in such a fast-paced world and we all want convenience and fast pace to stay with it? What are your thoughts? I
agree that this is a huge challenge, because I can even look at my situation. It's because of the modern economy that things can be ordered online, etc. That rural type communities that are fairly remote can operate. I have, like, unless there's one local grocery store, I have to drive 2.5 hours to find a farmer's market, to find anything outside of a digital convenience versus, if it's eBay or, I can make my online choices to support good purpose where I can. I can make that search and make that choice, and it may cost me a bit more. But where I am in the remoteness, I have to rely on a digital choice, or this community would not exist. It grew up because of that. So there are, and I like saying challenges, and I like going for them. But beyond knowing my neighbors, which I try to do as well, it is like in this climate, even growing one's own garden and finding, trading fresh produce or exchanging is going to be difficult. So I want to look at, okay, how can I make a baby step forward in my choices, short of moving to a different area that allows more of that community choice?
I live in a suburban area that I'm really lucky because it's close to areas where there is farming and so forth. It's not that far out. And it's not urban, right? It's in a suburban area, but we don't have HOAs. The city lets people have chickens and all kinds of good stuff, right? So I'm really lucky from that standpoint. The folks across the street from me have an extra lot beside their house, and they've turned it into a farm. It's fantastic. So they can do that here. But 3 miles down the road, they got HOAs and they won't allow anything like that. There's no way you could do it. Even though the city allows it, the HOA won't. So there's very individual situations depending on regulations in your area that restrict what you can and can't do. I would love to live further out in a rural area, but then that would be a whole much more gas and time and stuff to arrive to my office. Hopefully one day I won't have the need for that and can go into a more rural area, which is what I would do if I had that. I mean, I do have the option, but there's just ramifications of that option.
And I've been in search for local farmers, and it's interesting because I went into a social media page and there it is. There was someone advertising that they were going to have a farmer's market, right? And the location it was maybe like 15 minutes from me. So I got excited, and the post had just appeared. So I figured, okay, great. They're promoting it and this and that. So it should be at least later today, tomorrow, during the week, the weekend. It had already happened, which was the crazy part. And people, the people on the comments were like, oh, I just saw the post, it's the same exact scenario as me. When are you having the next one? Can you please let us know? So there is definitely interest. And I can't say that everybody that was commenting about when are you having the next one is in a way on the path that we are, but there was definitely in general interest. So I wonder, right, if the interest is in general due to the fact that people, even if they don't have the convenience of having a farmer's market, they would rather, they are already aware that they are better off purchasing from a local farmer for the benefit of what they're going to provide to us with either the eggs or the tomatoes or whatever it is they're selling. More than likely, it's more organic or healthier than what we are actually stepping in to purchase at the convenience store or the supermarket that we're in a way forced to purchase from, because that's all we have. So I think the interest, even though people are not on this path, the interest is there because we're well aware, or at least awake, that we're better off purchasing from a local person. Or maybe it's just for support. I don't know. But I did see massive interest. When I ran into it, it was the exact same thing as people
I'm going to give a little
wanting it.
advertisement for something because I find people just aren't aware of this. And I'm sure there's lots of other resources like this. But I share with patients a lot this website. It's realmilk.com. And it has farmers from across the entire United States. And they usually will make runs into the city. So they'll have a farm out in the rural area and they'll make runs into the city. And so every 2 weeks, I go meet my guy and they have different things depending on the farm. It's usually not vegetables. It's usually grass-fed beef and chickens, free-range chickens, and raw milk. If you live in a state that'll allow that, I do, although they make it real hard on them. Eggs, all kinds of things like that. That's mainly animal oriented, and that's mainly what I eat is animal stuff. So it works out great for me. I have other sources where I can get organic vegetables and fruits and stuff. But it's really nice to have this straight from the farmer, and I make sure and support them, right? Because I want them. If the world blows up, I want them to be my friend. So I'm cultivating that now.
And you find that they are not just in your area, like your state, they are nationwide?
It's nation. I mean, I'm looking at the list right now. If you go to realmilk.com, you can bring up the map and then you can put your zip code in from any place and you can look up all the available farms in that area and what they have available. So
awesome.
It will depend some on what state you're in and what the state laws allow and so forth. But there's availability throughout the whole country to some degree.
Perfect. Now, the other thing that, of course, that I found as we're talking about local farmers and everything is, or in general, having the availability of not having to purchase from a corporation per se, is in the area that I'm in, it has been discussed here in our family to, grow our own, let's say, vegetables or whatever the case is. But the weather doesn't permit the majority of it. Mm-hmm. The weather doesn't permit the majority of what we can grow on our own because it's so extreme. It's either extreme heat or extreme cold. So that's another challenge. Again, challenge is good, opportunities to think outside the box and so forth and so forth. But that's another challenge that a lot of us may be running into that we can maybe discuss a little bit on, well, what can we do? Because we need to, in a way, prepare in general.
I've got an option for you, but I want to see what Eliza says first.
I have a similar situation. And again, closest farmer market, 2.5 hours away, very arid, hot climate. So uh, the best I can do, and I do this, is buy organic, and I have searched for local opportunities here, and I support them. But what can be grown is what grows here is citrus. Probably the same, where you are, Reina Estela. But it's just a different set of challenges. If I want to have access to some of these things to support the smaller businesses, especially when it comes to food items, the way that it's working here is things will be shipped at great expense, encased in generally styrofoam with a lot of ice packs. Okay, now that's not very good for, I would say, from an environmental standpoint and creating all of that. So that it's working on the choices. And I'm keen to hear what you're going to say, Ken, about how you have addressed that opportunity.
Yeah, I haven't addressed it, but I'm set up to be able to address it if the moment arrives. Okay.
You're getting chickens and cows in the yard. I knew it.
I mean, chickens and rabbits are some of the best things to as far as animals to have. Rabbits are absolutely the best, easiest to handle, to take care of, and so forth. The chickens can be kind of noisy, but rabbits don't scream. Right?
You need a rooster there.
Yeah. But hydroponics done properly is a real good option. You just have to have a source of light, but you can do it inside so you can control the weather and everything. And Mike Adams with Natural News has done a lot of work on this and come up with a system that I'm reading about it right now. I mean, I've already got the equipment and everything for it, but it's very, very simple because you can learn about hydroponics, but in a very complex way where you have to have a circulating water and all kinds of things like that. He's got a program that was designed originally by a doctor named Kratky. And it's very, very cool. I think it's foodrising.org, I think is the name of the website. I haven't looked at it for a while because I bought all the equipment for it so that I'd be ready just in case. So I've got everything available, but I haven't started it because I haven't had the need for it. Right. But you totally control it. So there's no chemicals in there you don't put in there. Right? And like I say, you can, if you read about normal hydroponics, it has to have a pump and circulation and all kinds of things like that. This one does not. So you can search for all kinds of different sources. Also, I have a couple patients that are doing really interesting kinds of growing, but it's outside, but it is quite controlled. Have you ever heard of straw bale farming? Okay.
Oh.
You can get getting organic straw that doesn't have glyphosate and all kinds of stuff sprayed on it is kind of tough. But you just get a straw bale, and there's this process you go through to put dirt in it, and it's very cool how it works. And you just plant stuff right in the straw bale, so you can put it on concrete. You can put it wherever you want, and it works out really well. And there's another one that another patient was telling me about.
I'll have to look into that. It's very easy to get bales of organic sugarcane mulch here. It looks like, it's basically shredded up.
Mm-hmm.
That's at all the garden centers. It's what I use already.
That might work.
That might be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. That first option,
sorry,
Ken?
Please go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
That first option, Ken, you mentioned is inside?
Yeah.
And by chance, and I don't know how much you've explored, how much space do you need inside?
As little as you want, really. What he sets it up with is trays, like you might see at a restaurant, where they have these gray plastic trays. You know what I'm talking about? Where they haul
like
utensils.
The busing trays.
Yeah, busing trays, that kind of thing. You get those
the busing tray
with lids on them, right? And then you cut holes out, and you buy these deals that you put down in those holes, and the roots grow right down into the water. And so there's no dirt involved. It's all just straight from the water.
Oh, wow.
It's very cool. And like I say, you're going to control anything, nothing's in there that you didn't put in there, which is really nice.
Yeah.
It does take some electricity because you got to provide the light since you're inside.
and a cool environment if you live in like 110-degree weather in the summers.
Right.
Extreme weather.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you're extreme there.
You can foodrising.org. I'm looking at it right now, and that has the whole explanation of it, how it works and stuff. And you can get the stuff either from him or from other places.
Gotcha. And then you mentioned also that second one, and that one's outside, as an outside option, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think the only other thing there on either or even the third option there that you were going to mention is just how about, and I know, but I'm just trying to be very realistic on for us, like time, right? Time also that we have to consider.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when we're in survival mode, I'm sure we'll make time. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
But just have you heard of any of that on either option? Like it's time consuming, or hey, piece of cake, you just do this and let it do its thing?
I think the hydroponics is probably the least time consuming that you could hope for. The straw bale stuff, I mean, the weeds and stuff basically don't grow for the most part, right? So you don't have to do weeding like you do when you're planting in dirt. You do have to go through a process to get it ready. And I know I have a patient that does a whole lot of it. He brings me all kinds of, we do barter, right? He brings me tomatoes and all kinds of stuff. And that's how he grows them, his straw bale. But he actually does live on a farm, but he just has this section that he's set up for the straw bale stuff just because he loves doing it. And it's really cool to watch.
Awesome. And he's local and he's a client. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was referring to, is just getting that thought process going, because we all need each other, right? And I think we've lost that. I don't think we need each other, but we all need each other.
Yep.
And I think this is a great way to get back to, interacting with our neighbors in our community.
I think that's one. Pardon me. I think when you were both talking about farmers markets, for me, that's the appeal. I can go to the local grocery store and buy organics, but going and meeting and rubbing elbows and sharing smiles and sharing, that human connection, that's why I love farmers markets. It's not that I can't replace it elsewhere. It's that sense of community. And I think that's why a lot of people love farmers markets as well.
I have to agree with you, Eliza, because I'll be honest with you. I think that is even being lost. When you do go to a local supermarket, there's no interactions. And if there's interactions, they're not positive.
Or if you watch anything on X, they're sure not positive.
Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted by the physical battles that are shown. I don't think they're all AI. Who knows for sure? I haven't seen that kind of thing where I live, but holy smokes, it's crazy what people do to each other. Or
is it that they're not capturing the positivity positive interactions?
Yeah, that doesn't sell well at all.
Yeah. So.
And I think so much of it's being presented like this is the norm and it's okay, when it is a small minority and it's not what people want. But the more that is pushed, and it's the only thing that is presented, is this like tiny little subset of this is the norm and it's okay, no matter what your, I have my personal beliefs on, that I was born to be a woman, and kindness and, understanding and listening to varied, opinions of things to come together. Those things are important to me, but it's what's being presented like on X and other places that you look, that it's just divisiveness and contention and ugliness is the norm. And to me, it's not okay, but it's being presented as.
And you know what
it's
I've
okay.
noticed a lot? I mean, I was not on Twitter or X for a long, long time. And so it's relatively new that I'm even watching anything on it.
Same here.
But I'm flabbergasted by all the fights that they show and stuff. And most of the fights are women. Far and away, the largest majority that come across my screen are groups of women fighting each other.
And I don't think that is the norm. I think that's, especially to men, that's more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's
maybe the algorithm.
we have to,
Maybe the algorithm shows it to me because it knows I'm a man. That's you just don't know what they're doing with the algorithm because they're going to show me different stuff than they show somebody else. So who knows?
And I think that's again where we vote with our feet.
Mm-hmm.
We go and watch other things.
Mm-hmm.
We do thumbs up on the positive. We make, just like on YouTube or other areas, we watch and show that these are the things that we support and find interesting.
Yeah, but mine,
because we are profiled.
Yeah, I don't follow anybody that would be presenting any of that stuff, right? So I'm not a follower, and I don't do any interaction with any of them. I don't want anything on record for me so that they know anything about what I like or don't like, other than the people that I follow, because I want to be able to get their posts, right? And I don't follow anybody that's putting that kind of stuff up. But I get fed that stuff all day long. I just have to pass through all the fights and battles and stuff to get to see the things that I want to see. So I don't know how they do the algorithm, but it's kind of crazy.
Thank goodness I don't see a lot of that.
Yeah. Since we're talking about what you just mentioned there, Ken, let me just say what is becoming the norm, and it is very, very sad, is the fact that, example, we have in a way pulled away from watching the news media because of the way they feed the information to us. But what's becoming the norm is now the public, when there is a fight taking place with two women or two men, two people, and people are getting hurt in that fight, instead of helping.
Yeah, everybody grabs their phone and takes pictures.
All you see
movies of it.
And that is what's becoming the norm. And how sad is that? Instead of stepping up or stepping in, of course, we have to be cautious as well. We don't know there's a lot of mental illness taking place. I get it. We have to be very careful in stepping in, but what's becoming the norm is all you see is 50 people recording, 2 people fighting, no one stepping in to help on either side to stop it. And I find that very disturbing. And I think we have to definitely help not allow that to become the norm.
Localizing economies. Localizing economies can significantly reduce dependency on global financial systems and enhance community resilience. By supporting local businesses, farmers and producers, communities can keep wealth within their localities, reducing the outflow of resources to external entities.
I think that's such a huge thing. Because when I was growing up, we still had lots of small businesses every place. There were not the big box stores. I mean, we had malls, where you would have department stores and that kind of thing. All the department stores are gone. All the small businesses are gone. And everything is just Walmart and the big box stores. So all the money is flowing away from the community. Even when I was growing up, we had grocery stores that were owned by, you knew who the person was that owned it, right? They were someone in the community. Virtually none of that exists anymore. There's a few, and those are the ones that I try to go to, but there's very, very few.
I have to agree with that in my area as well. Very few mom and pop shop exist. On the Mexico side, where we go often, that still exists, which is why I love it so much. I wish we could bring that back here.
Interestingly, the one local grocery store that I go to all the time is a Latin grocery store.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Carniceria. It's Carnicerias. Yes.
Yeah.
Mom and pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's that's just part of the lifestyle there, right? Everybody has little small businesses, or they work for the government.
Oh.
That's about the
Or they
only
work for the
two.
government.
That's the only two options.
Yeah.
But it's going to take some effort to turn this around. For instance, these big corporate stores, if, say, I have a product, say if it's fresh produce or something and something's not right, I can easily take it back and they just flip it out. Okay, because I know the managers and et cetera. They're pretty good. But in general, if there's, say, with any of the packaged stuff, there'd be something wrong with it, what they'll say is you just call online, call the 1-800 number, and they'll issue the refund.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, because cash purchases are very difficult. So everything is credit card or debit card. But everything is being pushed to centralization, corporate centralization.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something you can stand there and make a stink. It's like, no, I want you to exchange this for that, right? It doesn't work that way. It's just not the system, and it's purposeful. So
the other day, my son went to get a haircut at a barber shop, and he was so proud of his haircut that he posted it, and he posted promoting the barber shop. And in the post on the bottom right, it said cash only, right? So I replied to my son, like the post, and I said, we need more businesses that take cash only.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to support them. And of course, the reason is we are the ones that need to make sure that we help keep those mom and shops, because we did lose the majority of them not too long ago.
Which
took
was
place a few years ago.
Planned event for that purpose.
And here in this country, the push, and this was happening last year, was businesses were getting on board to say, because the businesses were being pushed by powers that be to not accept cash. And so these businesses would say, no cash accepted. And what got around very quickly, and we choose our communities that I follow, was to basically boycott any of these businesses that are saying, look, no cash, no business. I'm not coming in here. And almost all of them reversed their policy.
Really?
If there's enough of a community, and this is what we have to be, we want to, we don't want to encourage belligerence. We want to encourage standing up for yourself and strength. Okay? Not the fight, but the purpose. And I think that will work little by little. Now, for me to find, say, local produce and community and farmers market, because it just isn't the reality where I live, I would have to vote with my feet, say I'd have to move, but the job source isn't there. We all have our challenges, but we still, even looking online, we have to look for ways that we can still stand up for goodness. And I love that online to say cash only. That is just 2 thumbs up for me as well.
It was strange to see it because you don't see it anymore. You don't see businesses with cash only. And the majority of mom and pop shops preferred, right, the cash only option. And again, we lost them. We lost the majority of them not too long ago. But I really feel that it is up to us to support. And that's the way to do it, is supporting. No belligerence, no fighting, just in a peaceful way.
I'm going to go on to the last page. I think we've covered that one okay.
Local currencies, time banks, and barter systems can further strengthen local economies by facilitating exchange and cooperation within the community. These systems also foster stronger social bonds and a sense of mutual support, which are crucial for resilience and sustainability.
I think we've covered that really well. I want to talk about the first section, though, because I understand barter. I don't think I even know what a time bank is. And what are we talking about with local currencies?
That's interesting, unless we're talking just, say, a cash system or time banks I've heard of.
I've heard the word, too, but I don't know what it is even. I want to look it up while you talk a little bit.
Yeah. But local currencies, are we talking cash? Are we talking using precious metals as a local currency? I don't know. I can't
is it
think
maybe
of
something that the community would create? Is it maybe something that and again, this goes back to the first thing we started discussing, the challenge of building that community. But I'm thinking that if it is a group of people creating a specific way to help each other get the product they need, is it that we're creating something internally outside of what we currently use, whether it's tokens or vouchers or
I mean, that used to be done, and that's a possibility. I'm not sure what the legal ramifications are with that at this particular moment. I think
it's similar to bartering, no? Because say, for example, like, and again, this goes back to local communities, is like if our neighbor, every weekend they barbecue, and there's not one weekend that they'll look over the fence and call my husband's name and say, who's there today? How many of you guys are there? And then they'll give us, like hamburgers or hot dogs or shrimp, barbecued shrimp or whatever. It's like,
that's too cool.
That's a community, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a way of doing it. They gave us that. So now, not that we feel like responsible to now do it, but in a way, that is what a community is. And I think that's how we would be able to help each other get what we need by doing that.
I got the definition of time banks. This is really interesting. It's basically coordinated barter using time as the currency. Okay, so you have a service or good that you can contribute that has an associated time value with it, and you get time credits for adding that in, right? And then you can use those time credits to buy other people's things. So it uses time as that middleman so that you don't have to barter this thing for that thing, but you barter this time into the system, and then you use time to buy stuff for yourself.
So example would be like if I have a fitness program that I can assist with. I give you an hour of fitness, and then if you have a consulting firm, you could help me for an hour in consulting, as an example.
But this has a middleman coordination of time credits, right? So it doesn't have to be a one-for-one like a normal barter where I have this and you have to want the thing that I want. That's the whole reason that money is used, right? It gives you a medium that's in between, right? So that you don't have to have somebody that wants the thing that you have and they have the thing that you want where you just trade it. That's barter, right? This is a middleman system where I have something and I put that in for time credits, and then I have something I want to buy and I use my time credits to buy it. Does that make sense?
Got it.
So,
okay.
So if you have, like, say, an hour's worth of babysitting, and then someone else is offering an hour's worth of leaf raking, or gardening.
But you don't have to have direct trade.
So you can put those on there, but I don't need gardening. And, I don't need, if someone else doesn't need my babysitting, you can just put those on the market.
Yeah.
That's pretty much tracked. It's on a spreadsheet. It's someone knows that you have an hour already deposited per se.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So then even though you're not bartering, you're not trading right on the spot, it's there. So whoever needs it can go in and withdraw it per se, right?
That's really what it is. It's an interesting concept. I'd never seen it before.
Wow. Yeah, because that could be like for everything that in a way you pay for right now, say yard work or childcare, right? Again, fitness programs or whatever. That's actually a really cool concept. Love it.
I don't know how many of them there are around. Probably not a lot, but that would be a cool thing to increase.
It would be. And when talking local currencies, are we looking at, we're always hearing about stable coins and they are backed by a certain something. Are we looking at, say, crypto versus, say, Federal Reserve dollars? Are we looking at, I'm just trying to figure out what a local currency would be unless there were a deposit bank that held something precious and then, say, precious metals. There'd be like a local gold reserve and you issue notes based upon what you say is there. I mean, that's big coordination and trust and security.
And I think they're heading toward that in Texas, I think. They're making progress toward that in Texas. And
that's cool.
Now in Missouri, they're making precious metals more utilizable as money, basically. I think there's quite a few states now that are starting to do that. So I think you're going to see true local currencies kind of start developing, which I think is a fabulous idea.
Yeah. And I like in that next sentence, that all leads into cooperation, facilitating exchange and cooperation within the community. And we had discussed that, how, Renestella and Ken, we were saying how we like the community connection that this is fostering stronger social bonds. That's a great feeling. And I think, I like it so much because it's been, not since I was small in my grandmother's community did I really feel that, and it feels wonderful.
I'm very lucky to actually be able to experience it when I travel to Mexico. It still exists there, and the feeling, I'm telling you, it's a complete different atmosphere. Being able to do that, your community.
The only neighbor that I really know here is the guy across the street from me that has all the agricultural stuff going on.
That's the cool neighbor to know.
Exactly. And he and his wife are out there outside working all the time, right? So I see him a lot. We talk to each other when I come and go from work. Everybody else is locked up in their houses, and so I hardly ever see them. But I see them, and they're good people to know, right? And so, like the other day, I was having a problem with my battery on my alarm system on the house. And so I wasn't able to set the alarm when I left. So I texted him and said, if you see anything weird going on over there, let me know, And he was the obvious guy that I was going to write, because he's the only one that I really had any kind of relationship with. All my other neighbors I really don't know. And that's really a nice, and he works from home, so he's home all the time. So that is nice to have somebody around that you trust, that can watch out over things. And he sent his girls over to look around and make sure everything was okay. Yeah.
We've always made it a goal to always at least know the neighbors, the one on the right, the one on the left, the one in the front, the one on the corner. That story I just mentioned about every weekend our neighbor, they barbecue and they always look over the fence and call my husband's name. It was funny this past weekend when they did it. And I was out there with my husband when they called him. And they said, and tell your wife that my wife said thank you. And my husband, we looked at each other, I'm like, thank you for what? What did I do? To this day, I don't know what the thank you was for, but hey, I'll take it, right? But those are the neighbors you want to have.
Yeah.
Right?
And,
those are the neighbors you want to have. And be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there was one thing I wanted to go back really quick, if it's okay. I just wanted to mention on the models for liberation. What I'm so happy about what we've developed here as we've been reading, right, this book by Rebecca and Jonathan, is we talked a lot about, local community, farmers market, and so forth. But we have to, at least I want to mention that there's definitely different paths that we can take towards it. It's not just the community. It's not just the, local farmers market, but what we're doing, right? The fact that we're always searching for new pieces to the puzzle, right? Such as, understanding, the legal model of understanding law or understanding contracts. What's the difference between, statutes and equity and contracts and trust? That the models of liberation, there's a ton of different ways that we can build ourselves. It's not just one way. And again, we need to explore, but I love the fact that, our ideas that we bounce with each other, right? Those ideas are the different ways that we have been able to help each other as a community to build ourselves and to really move in the direction of that liberation that we're looking for. There's so many pieces to the puzzle, and it's important that we explore, and that if you have a community to do it with, it makes it even smoother. So don't think that it's only one way or two ways. There's many ways, but we have to start exploring those. I don't know if you guys have other ideas aside of that time bank, right? That is impressive. I had not heard of that concept, and it really costs an interest right now. That would be so cool to build locally, right? But there's definitely different levels or different ways, different models of liberation.
And this goes back in the model for liberation. Even the name of this book, International Heist, this is happening across all countries. And the heist of what? It's like we're discussing here, it's our time, it's our community connection, it's our value system because we're being programmed, it's how we participate in commerce. So keeping those in mind, I think we have to do a continual assessment because all of these things have crept in. It's been gradual over the last 100 years, but it's been purposeful. What have I lost that I value? And then, like today's discussion is, how, by taking baby steps, do I get the things that I value back? And so this has been just such an uplifting conversation.
Yeah, this has been fun. All right, you guys have any last words? I hate to say it that way, last words, but anything else?
Oh, we know. They're good.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do
thoughts.
Have, that I always have something to say at the end, Ken and Eliza, but the transmutation process, right, that I have had in the short period that I've been doing this is I've been so, the word might be impressed, the word might be excited of me discovering or understanding, because yes, at my age, discovering the difference between public and private, legal and natural. I don't know. That's just such that's so important that I have been able to run into this, because I feel liberated. I feel that I'm on the right path for a full transformation of who I was to who I am becoming. and I'm just so happy that at this point, at my age, I am able to understand those concepts a lot more, because before I didn't even know that there was a difference.
Interesting that you said that. I helped somebody recently get into studying what we're studying with Rebecca and Jonathan. And it was a big stretch for him economically to be able to participate. And he's just started and he's really excited about it, but he's scared too, right? Appropriately so. New thing, trying to figure out how it's going to affect him and stuff. And but he's very excited about it, and he wants to learn as fast as he possibly can, And I just used that word with him yesterday. He was asking me some questions, and I said, dude, he feels really oppressed by the system. He's in a situation where he got a license to practice, and it cost him a lot of money on student loans and so forth. And now he's got to pay those back, and he's going crazy, and he's trying to figure out how to make this all work. And it's all up in his head, And I said, there's no way you can recognize the liberation that you're going to feel once you master this. It just changes your whole way of thinking, because otherwise you're constantly worried about everything. And you can't make good decisions when you're in that situation. Your mind just isn't functioning right. And once you understand how the system works and really get it inside you to where it just completely liberates you. It really does, because you're not worried about the oppression that most people are experiencing. But you have to master it. It takes work. It's not a simple, easy thing.
And at times you cannot go fast.
That's
you
right.
definitely need to be patient.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes work and time, but it is so worth it.
Pardon me.
Go ahead.
Just, that Renestella, that first of all, that's such an important story to share, Ken. And we'll see more and more of that, I hope. And Renestella, you use that word transformation. Okay, we talk about an awakening, being awake. It's not like when you wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, the lights go on. Awakening is exactly what you said. It's a transformative process. Mm-hmm. And you'll see where you were a year ago. As the comprehension increases, all of a sudden, you'll know that awakening happens bit by bit. And there will be eureka moments within that and empowering moments. But it never stops. And I'm excited about it. I've got a lot of work to do, and it takes work, like you're saying. But I'm excited for my transformation, for my continued awakening.
Okay. This has been fantastic. Really, really good session this evening. So I'm going to close her out. Unless...
Been great.
You guys okay with closing it?
It's been a great time, guys. Thank you so much. And you guys have a great evening.
Thank you.
Yes. Enjoy your evening. Much love. See you soon.
Love you guys.
The views expressed in this Liberty Ark podcast are for informational and educational purposes only. They do not constitute legal or tax advice, and they may not reflect the official positions of anyone at all, really. We want to express our appreciation to the authors of the unpublished manuscript titled The Great International Heist, on which the Liberty Ark podcast is based. Rebecca and Jonathan Rodrigues, the authors, provide courses that go into much greater depth and are available at libertyarkpodcast.com/white rabbit.